when it comes to disability, it's us who should make sure that there's no barrier for all these brothers and sisters to enjoy life, just as all of us can enjoy education, healthcare, jobs, everything else, all the facilities, public facilities. If we want to enjoy it, they too need to enjoy it. And we want to make sure that they also feel safe, yeah, around all of us. Hello, Nyambung people. Welcome back to my podcast. I'm Dina Praptorahaja. It's been a while, but as usual, we always have interesting things to discuss in this podcast. Social, political issues. Sometimes we talk about the economy. Today, we are going to discuss about autism. And it's just not just regular autism. We're going to discuss about autism agenda in ASEAN. See? You see the cross-cutting between ASEAN and autism. So you guys, I hope all of you will be interested to hear about this. This month, April, is the Autism Awareness Month. So 2nd of April in particular is the World Autism Awareness Day. So I think for us to be more inclusive, it's not just for the family or parents with autism. All of us should listen to this and learn something from it. Quite interesting, two gentlemen here with me, helping me to understand how ASEAN has dealt with the issue of autism. I'm with Cason Ong from ASEAN Autism Network. How are you, Cason?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you for joining me.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Where are you from? Here in Kuala Lumpur, or?
Yes, I'm from Kuala Lumpur. Actually, I'm from the National Autism Society of Malaysia. We are representing Malaysia in AN. Yes.
Okay, noted. And I have one more guest that I'm sure you're familiar with if you have listened to the previous Nyambung episode 27. You've met him, Taufik Hidayat. Pak Taufik, apa kabar?
Alhamdulillah baik, Bu. Yang kedua ya, kita bertemu dan bicara yang mana ini ya.
Yeah, second time. So maybe I should do a quiz, yeah. Where does he come from?
And the way I talk, you already know. The audience already know where I come from.
Yeah, Pak Taufik is from Yayasan Autisma Indonesia. Okay, two of important people. I'm sure you are eager to hear from them. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to write to me directly or through this YouTube. Your comments, if you have questions, feel free to ask. Okay. Now let's get to it. Mr. Cason or Cason. I already asked for more casual name and yet I forgot about it. So Cason, tell me about this ASEAN Autism Network. How many countries are member to it, and where is Malaysia in all of this?
Well, okay. ASEAN Autism Network was founded about 10 years ago in Bangkok. All right, where we had our first meeting, and then subsequently the second meeting was in Brunei, and then every country in ASEAN will take the chair to be the chairmanship of AN for 2 years. So I'm the current chairman of AN, and outgoing soon. There'll be a new chairman coming in for this year. And we have actually altogether 9 members in ASEAN, except Timor-Leste.
So 9 member states. Who are left out?
Only Timor-Leste.
Oh, that's Timor-Leste is not yet member of ASEAN. Of the 10?
I think they are. But they are still very, not so active, I think.
Okay,
I think
okay.
they have been admitted, if I'm not mistaken, because sometimes you see their flag, sometimes you don't see their flag, so I'm not quite sure.
In the network among the civil society groups,
Yeah,
they are often included. Yeah, I agree.
yes.
So
So we are all,
Brunei also included.
pardon, yeah, all are represented. Every country in ASEAN is represented. And in fact, we just got our ASEAN membership with the ASEAN Secretariat 2 years ago. So we are
Ah,
now part of the ASEAN Secretariat. So we must also report our activities to ASEAN as well. At the moment, the ASEAN, our AN Secretariat is based in Jakarta. So
okay.
if you have the time, I think Taufik will be able to show you around. Actually, I also would like to come by. I haven't seen the new office yet in Jakarta, because of the MCO, because of the COVID.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
also planning to come down.
That's a good idea. That could be the next stop, yeah,
Yes, that could be the next
of
stop.
Nyambung. We
Yes,
can
because all the
show
while
you around.
the secretary was in Bangkok.
I see.
So
I
now,
see.
since we are officially our standalone entity, so we based in Jakarta, right?
Okay, so now, Taufik, what can you tell us about Indonesia in this network of ASEAN Autism Network?
We are joining the first time in 2010. It's the first time we are joining with the AAN, and also with Malaysia and other 8 countries. There's totally 9 countries because Singapore joined in few years after that.
Yeah.
And then we were like more like family actually. Because me, Cason, and Mr. And others members, we are feel a family because one part of me and my brother has autism, and Mr. Cason is his son, and then because we are all the same, uh, same life. No, no, we have very good connection, something like that. And in
Yeah.
Indonesia itself, because in the part we are into 2018 until 2020, 20 sama sekali,
Yeah,
Indonesia is the chairman of ASEAN. At that time, we are holding ASEAN Autism Games. It's quite a big part that we can show the world that person with autism can do sport quite good,
That's
yeah.
right.
and it's exposed quite a lot. Even our president in Indonesia gave a reward to the winner of ASEAN Autism Games.
Yeah, I think it's amazing what you've done, this network. If you look for the information, you can find out numerous activities has been promoted by the ASEAN Autism Network. But probably not all of people here are aware of those activities. Can you mention the kinds of activities you mentioned? ASEAN Autism Games, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So is it games or games like sports?
It's like sports in track and field and swimming. It's running competitions and then swimming. And after that, there will be exhibitions about the games that present by Japan about Indochpi.
Okay. What else? What kind of activities have you done together with the 9 member states?
Yeah, okay, let me say something about it. The activities is actually more or less the same. We are promoting awareness across the board, across the world, with our other members in ASEAN and also outside ASEAN, right? Advocating, how to deal with autism, how to bring life better to the people with autism, especially the adults. Actually, now I think most of us in ASEAN has successful in the education side when they were young, when our children are young. Now we are trying to advocate them for the adulthood. All right, like my son who is 23 already, so we are preparing them now for the next stage. This stage is the most important because why? We hope that they can be independent so that when we are no more here, they can continue with their lives. That is our hope and our prayers. I'm not only saying this as a parent with autism, I'm saying that as a parent with a child who is disabled, I think everybody thinks that way across the board. What will happen to me What will happen to my child when something happened to me when we are no more here? You know, that is the ultimate question everybody is asking. You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
as an association, you see in AN, most of the associations represented their countries are
Mm,
an organization, an NGO, which is, how should I say, advocates autism. All right, the awareness for autism, and they are all mostly parent-based, just like Yayasan Indonesia as well. No, all parent-based. So that's why Taufik was saying that we are extended family. You know, my son is his anak angkat, his son is my anak angkat. So we are all, in the same family. So that's why when we discuss things, when we talk about certain things, all in the same frequency.
mm.
You know, you don't look at our hair.
Oops.
But you look at our cheerfulness and sometimes our seriousness when we discuss this topic. This is very close to our hearts.
Yeah, yeah.
So we are trying to make the best. That's why we are sharing experiences. When we had our second meeting in Brunei, a lot other countries of ASEAN like Vietnam, Cambodia, that time they don't even have internet connection. They were struggling. They were looking to us in Malaysia and in Bangkok to see how we could help them. You know, but after all these years, the Brunei meeting was in 2013. After that, until today, we are surprised and we are so happy to see that Cambodia is doing very well, Vietnam is doing very well, Laos is on the way, and in fact, Myanmar as well. But if it's not due to their internal issues, they are also doing fine. So we are very happy and proud that all our other fellow members are improving and bringing the how should I say, the advocacy to the public and to their governments. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about yeah, it's all about passion, determination, yeah.
Yes.
And part of you being, having family members to take care of probably brings you together. Now, let's talk about how this network can actually advance the needs of a person with autism. In ASEAN, do you follow meetings of ASEAN, or how exactly do you work with ASEAN so far?
We have our monthly meetings
Mm.
with all our member countries, and that's where we share our activities. We have individual countries report to say, to tell us what they're doing, and then we will share. And then if we have any programs that we think we can help them, we will just share. So basically that's how we exchange ideas. Yeah.
How about Indonesia? What kind of models or what kind of issues you usually bring forth? What kind of leadership Indonesia usually bring, and then Malaysia later on? I can ask the same thing.
It's quite interesting, the topic of what you are asking, because a few weeks ago we are invited by the MOFA, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, to discuss and to what do you call it? Formulate the potential variable issues that will be presented in 2023, while Indonesia will be the chairman of ASEAN. So we have the opportunity to say something about what do communities of ASEAN Autism Network need to do. There were 4 sectors that we are presenting, that I'm the one who presented, in health issues, social, education, and the most important thing, like Mr. Cason said, about the workforce. And then we are, the discussion is in that event is very nice. They just know about, that's the things happen in autism community. Because as you may know, if we are talking about disability issues, usually we talk about physical and sensory disability. Rarely talk about mental disability, especially autism, and that's why we are honored to be invited with the Ministry of Social Affairs to talk about it.
Yeah, hopefully it's getting higher and higher on the agenda. Yeah, that's our hope. What about from Malaysia? What kind of issues do you usually
It's,
advance
it's the
or?
same. It's the same items. It's the same things. You know, the subject will now run. Now, this is what we call the synergy to share with all other countries. Now, Malaysia, what we have done is we have pulled autism out from the category because in our welfare department, autism is mixed together with the other disabilities like dyslexia, Down syndrome, and slow learners. So with the prevailing, increase in autism in the young, right? We have to make sure that we have the numbers. All right, we don't know actually how many autistic people are there in Malaysia. You know, because some parents didn't register their child. You know, and then whatever we have in NASOM cannot be the actual numbers because we are only representing. We have about 16 centers in the whole country, and we have probably less than 1,000 children. So that cannot be the exact number. So what we actually did was we managed to get the government to pull autism out as a stand alone disability, just like the deaf and dumb and the blind. All right. So from there we can start doing the homework of how to identify people with autism and get the numbers going, so that the government cannot say that they don't have the numbers, because every time we ask them, we don't know what to do, we don't have the numbers. But the United Nations, all right, has already mentioned that 1% of the total population of each country could be autistic.
Right.
That was the easiest equation that the UN gave. All right. So I think we are not far from there. I think Taufik can agree with me. I don't think we are far from that. But like I said, it's very difficult for us to get the actual data and the actual numbers, because Malaysia is already we are very difficulty in getting that. I think Indonesia is even worse because your country is so huge. You know, so everybody is having that problem. So what we did was, I think Bangkok 2 years back as well, before the MCO, before the COVID, we did an autism mapping. I think Taufik can relate to that as well, where we want to do a data, all right, to data collection for people with autism in ASEAN. We do it in ASEAN first, all right, and in Malaysia, actually tomorrow we are launching a website. It's actually our National Autism Resource Center will be launching a website and also an app called My Therapy to forward this to all people, parents who has an autistic child. So from there, they can get updates, and then we can get total numbers. You see, because this is nothing to do with government. It is a different thing. So they, parents don't have to say, oh, I don't have to register my child. I can take care. I don't need the government help and all these things. So this one is actually NASOM's portal, which is developed by a collaboration with University Technology Mara in KL. So they are the ones who developed the portal. So now we are going to launch it tomorrow, part of the Autism Month.
Okay.
And from there later, our whatever results I will share with my fellow members of AAN, and then we see how far we can help each other on this. So this is the first step. Yeah.
Yeah, we should learn more about that once it's launched. Yeah.
Yes.
That's the same issues also in Indonesia.
Yeah.
Because the first problem is about the diagnosis. Because mostly people don't know how to diagnose autism.
Right.
If it cannot be diagnosed, it cannot be registered and count.
Yeah.
So we are also encouraging the government to do a national standard of diagnosis, and if they already have it, they have to implement it down to the lowest part of the surface.
Correct.
Something like that. But the interesting is, Ms. Dina, about ASEAN Autism Mapping is actually the first project, Mr. Cason, about ASEAN Secretariat.
Yes.
And then Jaif came also along. And then the most interesting thing, if the issues brought out with the bigger or regional organizations, all the government bodies nationally will join along. That's the first time in Indonesia we can have good discussions and good result for each four ministries in Indonesia.
Right.
Even though we don't have the enough and correct data, but that's a good progress.
Yes.
And hopefully, with Indonesia will be the chairman of ASEAN 2023, it can also raise not only in Indonesia but in Malaysia and other ASEAN countries.
So once you talk about data, apparently all bureaucrats hear the sound, yeah,
Right.
and see you. You become visible.
That's why, Dina. Once we're inside ASEAN, we're already part of ASEAN. So whatever we discuss, whatever we share, now a copy of the report will go to the ASEAN governments. So the governments itself, within each other, they cannot say we don't know.
Yeah.
So that's why we are at the back there saying, excuse me.
Yeah.
Everyone knows about it except you all. You can't run away from the fact. So the government to government, they are also sharing the information. So hopefully we can go further than that for the advancement of our children towards adulthood and for a better future for them. Yeah.
Yeah, I sure hope it's parallel. Yeah, not just the mapping to know the number, but also to see there are different spectrums, right, of autism, and clearly that when you mentioned about standards of diagnosis, to make sure that even the most ordinary people, people who are not quite knowledgeable about this diagnosis would be able to implement it and see around them who may have autism and need attention. Okay. I know in ASEAN there are several best practices of the country paying attention to a person with autism. In Malaysia, you have the Sunway Putra Mall.
Yes, we have the Sunway Putra Mall.
Can you tell us a bit about that?
They are the first shopping mall in Malaysia that embraced, how should I say, to
autism friendly.
To be autism friendly. They embrace to help people with autism with how should I say, specific rooms. They have nice rooms, sensory rooms, play rooms. For the autistic children. All right, and also very friendly in the sense that once you enter the mall, there is a information counter. You just go straight to the counter. You just tell them that my child is autism, or then they will be given a lanyard, and they can just use any of the premise, whatever premise is for them, free of charge. So they can move around comfortably and also safely in the mall. All right. Okay, that is Sunway Putra Mall. Actually, that is part of the Sunway Group. What they are trying to do now, they are trying to expand to their other Sunway malls. Right? It's like Sunway Pyramid. That's the big one. The one I'm sure you know about it. The one near the Sunway Lagoon. Yeah, they are trying to spread to that is their biggest mall. Okay, but they are working on it. They hopefully that they can put these facilities in these shopping malls as well. All right. Besides the autism, these malls. Now, just for you, I already informed my AN friends that Malaysia Airport Berhad in Sepang, our international airport, they also started a project called Butterfly Project.
Okay.
And they also have special rooms for autistic children for autism, so that they can enjoy a very how should I say, hospitable condition before they fly off, before they take their flights. Before this, there isn't such a thing. So it's the same thing. They can go straight to the information counter, just tell that my son is autistic, and then they will get the lanyard, and they will be given free pass to move around, and they'll be having a concierge as well to take them around. Yeah. Unfortunately, it was launched during the MCO when the airport was totally empty. COVID. They actually want to launch it officially soon. Hopefully by this month, if possible, or next month, they will have They have a walkabout with public, where the public can come in and have a look. So actually, I share this with my ASEAN friends as well. So hopefully, your other countries, the other countries can emulate Malaysian Air Force, and they are willing to share the work. They are not going to say that it's exclusive for Malaysia. No, we are going to share.
We already have it also in Indonesia, in Ahmad Yani, Semarang, Bandung.
Okay, Bandung ya?
Bandung.
Bandung.
Semarang. Semarang. It established. It launched in 2019 before the pandemic, so it already has a good exposure in media also.
Oh, okay. Special room like that?
We have in Ahmad Yani Semarang Airport. They have we call it special room. It's a sensory room also. It has a good lighting, a good atmosphere to help a person with autism before flight, because it's in the boarding room. Before flight, it can calm them down.
Yeah,
because flight is very quite not pleasant experience for them to go, so they need to be calm.
Yeah.
And also the staff there have a good knowledge about autism, how to handle, how to cooperate with the families while in airports.
Wow, this is very encouraging. Yeah? Across ASEAN, you can see different ways of dealing with it, and there's a progress there.
Yeah.
Taufik mentioned earlier about the ASEAN Agenda for Disability 2023. And I'm encouraged there to hear that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Indonesia already prepared the stage. Already, I saw the minutes of meeting, and I'm excited to hear that this agenda is going forward. But which part of it, or how would you take autism forward in this 2023 agenda of ASEAN? Anyway.
May I?
Yes, Taufik, please.
Taufik, go ahead.
The things that we are not trying to promote is about how the enabling master plan would be implemented, because when I read it and I learned quite a lot about it, there's a lot of key points from every three community
pillars
community in ASEAN, APSC, AAC, ASCC, is that will help us ASEAN Autism community to do better. And like this, APSC 1, encouraging taking all appropriate legislative administrative measure to promote, protect rights person with disabilities in public political life. It's quite interesting because, like in Indonesia, there is 2024 there will be an elections, so there will be how the rights of person with autism, because this is the human rights base, not a charity base or something like that. Because it's quite interesting, and also it collaborates and between three ASEAN communities.
Yeah.
This is quite interesting. I'm hoping that in Indonesian chair in 2023, the ASEAN Enabling Master Plan would be fully implemented.
I hope so too. Cason, anything you want to add?
I mean, I agree totally. Whatever one country does, it will reflect to the other countries as well. It's just a multiple effect. All right. That's why we want to make ASEAN a strong platform for our member countries. So when one says something, the rest will hear, and then hopefully the rest can follow suit as well. Instead of only one person talking, no point. If one person talk, 9 countries can be implemented. That's fine. That's why we are pushing so hard for this. And I think the past 10 years, I can say that people with disabilities are free to come out of their homes. All right. I'm not talking about Malaysia. I'm talking about overall. I think for the past 10 years, I think people already are aware, the public and the society are aware of people with disabilities, not only with autism, but with all sorts of disabilities like Down syndrome and all that. Because before this, I'm sure everybody is all locked up their children at home in the cage. Because people will say they are gila, ini semua mental punya orang. things like that. So I think this is still, I'm still skeptical because some people still have that kind of thinking. But that's why we have to push this awareness more. So to get the confidence of the people that our children and our adults with autism can be part of the society.
Yeah.
I think that is what we are advocating now, to be inclusive. All right. Now our friends in Philippines, they are always putting ahead with inclusive. Autistic people are okay, or be accepted into the mainstream of society and so on. This is what we are actually fighting for.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
So I think this is a very good reminder to all of us as a closing that when it comes to disability, it's us who should make sure that there's no barrier for all these brothers and sisters to enjoy life, just as all of us can enjoy education, healthcare, jobs, everything else, all the facilities, public facilities. If we want to enjoy it, they too need to enjoy it, and we want to make sure that they also feel safe, around all of us, So with that, I think we learned a lot today. At this, as a starting point, I'm sure this trigger curiosity, I hope, from the rest of the audience here. My tie with people with autism is just curiosity, actually. It started off as a curiosity. I have no member of my family having a person with autism, but because I care, and now one of my staff is a person with autism. So I think I learned something about how to work with them. And as you say, it's all possible, actually, if we're willing to find the way, find the way to work with them. So thank you so much for this first segment, Cason and Taufik. Thank you very much for enlightening us on the agenda of ASEAN 2023 and also ASEAN Autism Network. Can you share with us the social media of your groups, your foundation?
Yeah, I think for AN, you just go into ASEAN Autism Network. You just type ASEAN Autism Network. You can have access to it. I think we are on Facebook and Twitter as well.
Okay. How about YAI?
YAI, we can access in Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Also, you can just type Yayasan Autisma Indonesia.
Okay. So do follow up on them, Google them, find them, and work with them, and feel fulfilled because you work with them. Thank you so much, both of my guests. I'll see you in the next segment.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much for your support once again. Our podcast is available at YouTube and Spotify at Nyambung with Dina Prapto Raharja. Make sure to send us your questions or your thoughts through YouTube comment section. And if you enjoy the episode, don't forget to like, share the link to your community, and subscribe so you make sure you don't miss our contents because we post every week.